Hi boys and girls, I'm back. Our paper is dry, and now it's time to create the candle first. We're going to do the candle, and all you have to do for that is take the edge that you want. I kind of like this dark edge, but I'm not sure I can get that to be in part of it because we're going to tear this. So fold it somewhere in your color that your candle is, and be sure to do the back and forth method that we did before to tear our paper in half. Remember, you're going to do that a bunch of times, and then this should tear very easily, and we want that kind of rough edge. So now you get to decide how fat you want your candle to be. I kind of want mine to be this fat, I think, and you have enough that you could probably make 2 candles. So if you like one better than the other, or your first one doesn't tear out exactly right, you can always change that. Alright, so I'm ready to tear this one, and this one. Okay, now I don't need it to be this tall, so you want your candle to be the height of where your glow is. So I'm probably going to take off about that much. So I'm just going to fold this, take off the bottom. Same method, just folding it back and forth until it gets easier to tear. So there's my candle. Now I'm ready for my... Okay, so now we're going to take the green and tear it into leaf-like shapes. So a leaf shape to me is kind of like an like an ellipse or football shape, but you can tear it any shape you want. I'm going to try to tear a top curve and a bottom curve, and if it's not perfect, that's okay, because different leaves look differently. Some have really rough edges, but we want it basically kind of that shape. And you want to tear as many of those as you can fit or can get out of your leaf paper. So like this one, I kind of like how that curves along there. I might just take a little bit of this corner off and make this leaf kind of bending one way. So you want to try to get a collection of leaves. You don't want this straight edge though, that's not going to look like a leaf. So when you're doing this, try to curve that edge a little bit, and if you go slow, you can actually have quite a bit of control over which direction. Look at that, almost looks like a leaf right there. I'm just going to go like this. I got kind of a lucky one, and even if it has a bump on it, I mean, that could just be where a bug has chewed it, or anything like that could have happened. So go ahead and tear out as many of those as you can and place them below your candle. And when you think you have enough, actually I'm going to tear out all of mine because I want to be able to overlap. As you can see in this example, there's overlapping going on to make it look like it's actually all the way around. Okay, I'm going to just set those aside until I'm ready to start gluing. I think I've got as many as I can get out of that. Now, the last part is the flame with the little wick in it. So find your little white space, and you're going to try to tear pretty much the same shape as a leaf, I think. You just want it to kind of come to like a point, if you can. That looks pretty good. I might try another one over here. If yours doesn't turn out, do another one. You should have enough room to do a bunch of them here. If you're not, I mean, they don't have to have the little white in the center, but they can. Okay, so depending on how big you want your flame to be, decide. I think I like that size best. And I also really like this white edge I've got along here. I wish it was on this side too, because otherwise it kind of blends in just a little bit. I wonder if this one looks better as far as blending. Nope, they both kind of look the same. So pick the one you want, and that's the one you glue down. And we're going to use a glue bottle, but you could use a glue stick if you wanted to. So start with your candle. It's kind of in the order that we tore those out. You're going to want to glue your candle down first, and then layers of green around the base of the candle. And don't go crazy on the glue. You know how that works. We don't need an excessive amount of glue for this. And if you want the top, like I've just noticed this, if you want the top of your candle to look like it's been burning a little while, maybe taking that top edge so that it's a little bit more rough, or dipped, it could even be dipped down a little bit in here. I'm going to dip mine down a little bit. Like when a candle burns, it starts to melt down a little bit. So I'm going to try to make it look that way. There, and it's usually very uneven, so if you can get it uneven, that's actually good. Alright, I'm going to put my flame in there. And then all of the leaves I'm going to layer across across the bottom. And I'm just going to, it doesn't probably matter which one I start with, but I'm going to try to start with this big one. And I'm just going to put them all like they're kind of growing up from the bottom facing out, so like this, and then just overlap. There's no really wrong way to do this, so I ended up tucking a few behind afterwards on the other one because I decided I really wanted it to look that way. So I'm just going to put a few going this way, a few going that way. This one I might tuck, like I said, and it's okay to tuck it behind if you decide, hey, there should probably be one kind of coming up there, and maybe turn. If they're not dry, you can still kind of move them around. So if you do this quickly, you can move them. If you take too long, they'll be glued down and you won't be able to do that. So I think I'm going to put one more right there. I like the look of the layers on this. Okay. And then when you are done, you need to first check to make sure you have your name and class code on the back, and then take a photograph of this for your Art Sonia portfolio.